Evening, everybody. Apologies for the abrupt muting, but it is now time for us to get the 28th East West Foundation Gala evening underway. My name is Arch Saber. I'm your host this evening, and can I extend a very warm welcome to all of the supporters, not only here in Australia, but from all around the world. Tonight, we have people joining us from the UK, the United States, India, Singapore, South Africa, Cyprus, Canada, and Germany as well. Welcome to you all. If I can ask you to place your monitor on speaker view so you can enjoy the experience as we intend to present it this evening. Before we get things underway, firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri land of the Kulin Nation and the traditional elders, both past and present. I acknowledge all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are joining our meeting and remind everyone that we all meet on unceded country. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the gala evening is usually a very vibrant night. It's full of fun and frivolity. It is an opportunity for people to gather together, clink champagne glasses, dance, enjoy dinner. It is, of course, and always remains an important fundraiser evening. And tonight is no different. I've seen that all of you are able to utilise the chat button. It's been running amok down there with everybody greeting each other. But I can tell you that the chat button does serve yet another purpose here this evening. It is also the opportunity for you to click on, get onto the link where you can either make a pledge or you can use your credit card details or BPay. All of those facilities are so very important. And whilst we can't all be face to face, we can all still enjoy each other's company, and we look forward to sharing with you the wonderful developments throughout the past and what lies in the future with the East West Foundation. Now, we may all be in less glamorous attire, but nevertheless, let's begin this evening with an introduction to a couple of people who I expect all of you here this evening know. May I firstly welcome Chandran and Chitra.
Thank you, Arch. Good evening.
Good evening, Arch. This is very special today, and such familiar faces from all over the world that have taken time out to join us today. Thank you very much, and for being with us, taking the time out, and we hope to that you will enjoy having the update today with us, and stay back a little longer after the session to spend time with each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chandran. And Chitra, can I also congratulate you, what you've managed to achieve with this community-run organisation that serves health and education for over 40,000 community members right throughout that southern pocket of India. It's an extraordinary achievement.
Thank you, Arch. And I want to give a big shout out to my classmates from all around the world, my school friends, and my college mates from medical school. Some of them are still working, so I'm very grateful that they've taken time out to join us this evening. Thank you, guys.
And another person I'd like to introduce this evening, Raghu Nadathar. He's the new treasurer here in Australia. He also chairs the foundation board in India. Raghu, you've left the corporate world behind you, and whilst you still remain on several boards, you're now dedicating so much wonderful time to the East West Foundation. Good evening.
Good evening, Ash. Thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you to all supporters on the call across the globe today. We very much appreciate you joining us today. As far as me coming across from the corporate world, yes, I was in the corporate world for 33 years, but I'm not new to the foundation, nor to Chitra and Chandran. I've known Chitra and Chandran for more than 40 years, Ash.
Raghu, if we can get straight onto things, COVID-19, the global pandemic, has impacted the entire world. Can you share with us how it's impacted the community and also what is being done to move forward?
Arch, 2020 has been a tough year in terms of the pandemic and its impact on the foundation. However, we've managed to maintain the critical services, particularly the healthcare. We've had to assume a lead role in protecting and preventing the spread of the infection in the local community since March. And we've added tasks, including COVID-19 testing and follow-up treatment in our clinic, Arch.
And you have a particularly popular, almost a rock star doctor leading the way there, haven't you, Raghu?
Yes, Raj, I think you're referring to Dr. Premnath, who's very popular with the villages. He's been running COVID-19 awareness sessions for the village members, the elders, the police, the local council, actually working very closely with the community to prevent and protect them. He's also developed an education video which runs at the clinic, Arch.
That's wonderful to hear, Raghu. Is there anything else taking place at present?
There's quite a lot going on, Arch. We've produced and distributed 3,000 brochures in Tamil to the 24 villages on COVID-19 detection, prevention, and treatment. In addition to that, our social workers have been door knocking thousands of homes, as well as conducting public information session at local village site to ensure the awareness and how to prevent the spread of the virus.
That's a wonderful program, Raghu. Obviously, this all comes at a financial cost. Can you help us to understand what does it cost to deliver these services?
Arch, although India is cheaper compared to Australia in terms of running health services, it's still costing us about $100,000 a year to run the clinic. And that includes the mobile services, the medicines, and the cost of the staff.
It's wonderful to see all that great work being done in the health department there. As we now move across to, well, a place that's probably familiar to many of you, as it is to me this evening, the Children's Home. I was fortunate enough back in 2017 to spend 10 glorious days, and even more fortunate because it was a wonderful time. It was in the midst of the Pongal celebrations, and I can tell you there was so much vibrancy, colour, engagement. The children were off doing all sorts of things. Chandran, well, you couldn't find Chandran. He was off to another groundbreaking ceremony virtually every day. So much was going on. We enjoyed the hospitality of Ron and Beth. David and Chris were there as well. It was a terrific time, but what really left a profound impression on me was the wonderful holistic education that's being made available to these children. To be able to offer things like, for example, these karate classes, cricket matches. We've all enjoyed a game of cricket on the paddock. Swimming classes, always terribly important. And of course, dance. Dance is adored by all the children, and they just do it so wonderfully well. And after witnessing that, I couldn't help but want to somehow make a contribution. And one of the ways which all of us can contribute this evening, the day sponsorship. Now, many of you who attend the gala evenings would be acutely aware of it. It's a fabulous day. You can nominate the day for 800 Australian dollars. You go a long way in assisting the running of all those wonderful workshops. And of course, if you can't quite accommodate the full day, there is also a half day available at 400 Australian dollars. It just goes so far to help with the approximate $300,000, which is required to run the foundation. And Chitra, if I can come to you now, could you share a little bit more about what's going on in the Children's Home?
Thank you, Arch. The home is going well, apart from the fact that we've all suffered through the lockdown. But here is a picture of the house mother, Geeta, with some of the children past and present. Some of those children are still there, but others have flown the nest now. Geeta has been a very stable influence in these children's lives for the last 17 years. And we've also been very fortunate because our staff turnover is very low, and the children have been able to bond with the same people throughout their stay at the children's home. This art is a picture of one of the first girls who came to the children's home. The girl on the right happens to have the same name as me. She's Chitra, and she came in with her younger sister. She must have been about 5 when she came into us. She stayed there right through her schooling, and she has now, you can see in the next slide, she's actually growing up and studying, and she has now finished her tertiary education and has actually got married. So that has been very pleasing. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And goodness me, who is this gorgeous young child on our screen right now?
Arch, this beautiful little girl is Gauri. She was one of the youngest children who came to us at the age of 9 months. And Arch, I used to despair about whether she would ever be able to learn to crawl and walk, because the girls, the ladies just carried her around on their hips all the time. But she achieved all her milestones. She has now finished her education and is looking forward to tertiary education. Here she is telling us a little bit about herself.
I am Gauri. I have lived here since I was a baby. I will finish 12th. I will finish school this year and I want to continue my singing lessons. Thank you.
And this young girl also came to us when she was quite young. She was Muganti. She was about 7. And she's also about to finish her school. And she's going to tell us a little bit about her aspirations for life.
I am Muganti. I am studying 11th standard. I will become a doctor. I like dancing and sports and the extracurricular activities. I like sports very much. I like volleyball, cricket, football, and swimming also. I like so much.
They are terrific, Chitra. And this handsome young man we find on our screens right now, tell us a little of him.
Yeah, Asha, this is Yograj. He's one of our star pupils. And he came to us when he was about 7 years old, or might have even been 6 with his younger brother. Now, just to give you a little historical perspective here, when Chandran and I first started the Indian Foundation 26 years ago, we wanted to improve the health and education of an impoverished rural remote community. And that's why we started the health center initially. But very soon it became apparent that because of the very high rate of female infanticide in the region, we needed a girls' home for destitute and abandoned girls. So that's how we started the children's home. But when Yograj and his brother came to us, the village elders brought him in. Under very tragic circumstances, the 2 boys came to the home. We couldn't possibly turn away these 2 little boys. They were just gorgeous. And that's how we started taking boys into the home. And I must say, we have not regretted it because they have added such a different, vibrant energy to the home. Here is Yograj. He's playing what's called the mridangam, which is the Indian drums. And as you can see, the drums are almost as big as he is. But he is multi-talented. He's an all-rounder. He's good in his music. He's good with dance. He has finished a degree in mechanical engineering. And because this is the only home he's known, he comes back to us often. And he helps the younger children. He helps to educate them. He helps around the home. He helps with admin. And overall, he's really a wonderful, wonderful person.
And if that isn't enough, Chitra is also a black belt in karate too. What an extraordinary achievement.
That is wonderful. Yeah. Yeah.
Chitra, can I ask you these stunning 2 young girls on our screen? Can you tell us a little about them?
Yes, Arch, aren't they absolutely gorgeous? The girl to your left, her name is Ashwini. She and Sarita were the first children to actually leave the home for tertiary education. Ashwini was the first girl to get married, and she's the first to have had children. She has 2 children of her own now. Sarita on the right came to us again under tragic circumstances with 2 of her younger sisters, and they stayed with us right through their schooling. So Sarita, wanted to pursue a career in tertiary education. So she went on to do fashion design, and she has been very successful in that. And she also came back and took her 2 younger sisters home with her so that she could continue and complete their education and look after them. And Arch, I'm pleased to announce that last month, exactly a month ago, Sarita actually got married. And here is a picture of the gorgeous young couple. So we wish them all the best and good luck for the future. Arch, I just wanted to say, we've had a lot of children from very deprived and dysfunctional backgrounds, as you know, at the home. But as a result of their stay and education at the children's home, they have actually blossomed and grown and have emerged as very confident young individuals who are venturing out into the community in different spheres. They are tertiary graduates, they are employees, and I believe doing very well. They are spouses, they are parents, and overall, they're just well-rounded human beings. When Chandran and I felt all those years ago that if we even helped one fellow human being to alleviate their suffering and to help them, it would be very satisfying. But I must say, with the help of all of you who are present today and all those who couldn't attend, we have actually helped to make a difference to hundreds of such children. And I think that has been the greatest achievement of the foundation.
And it's a stunning achievement, Chitra. And just watching the chat line, I couldn't help but notice one comment: these children are an inspiration. It's so wonderful to see that level of accomplishment. On the subject of education, Raghu, if I can come back to you, it's obviously of paramount importance, as we've witnessed with some of the fabulous development of children coming at a young age and really blossoming.
Yes, Arch, education is definitely a key enabler. It's interesting, the grown-up children, although they've gone on to do further study, during the lockdown, several of the grown-up children actually came back to the foundation, and they've been helping run the foundation, helping the younger children, cooking, cleaning, gardening, and contributing in their own way.
And along with Gauri and Raganthi, who we listened to just a few moments ago, there really have been a number of success stories, haven't there?
Arch, you're right. There have been many good examples, and here's an example here. You can see Pua and Shipra, the twins, who are currently studying to complete their masters in business administration and Bachelor of Education. They have benefited from the generosity of our supporters, and of course, the tertiary fund has been integral to ensure that they realize their ambition, Arch.
And Kanimal, who we're just about to see on our screen, this gorgeous young thing. Tell us a little about Kanimal.
Yeah, this cute little girl is Kanimal. She arrived at the home at the age of 5. She recently graduated from Presidency College in Chennai with a degree in Tamil Arts. Kanimal is also an accomplished Bharatanatyam dancer, a classical dancer, obviously benefited from the dance classes held at the foundation. Kanimal wants to be a dance teacher, and we've been working with her to ensure she realizes her ambition. Again, the foundation supporters and the tertiary funds been an integral part of her realizing her ambition, Arch.
And doesn't she look absolutely spectacular there? There's other work going on to help the children as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of work behind the scene. We're employing a social worker, Arch, to guide the children to make the right choices, be it tertiary education, vocational training, or apprenticeship program. Arch, it costs about $2,500 to fund an undergraduate student each year. And the tertiary fund, it's been invaluable in helping the children realize their dreams, Arch.
And while you've been talking about that, Raghu, I couldn't help but notice as I watched the chat line as well, we've received a very generous $5,000 donation specifically for the tertiary fund. We're very, very grateful. That's a very generous contribution. And so many of you on the chat line have also committed to taking a day sponsorship. Thank you very, very much for your support. Now, Raghu, as I understand it, the children's home itself has a little ambition around some of the disused dormitories.
Yes, Arch. We've got plans to use one of our old dormitories and transform it into a boarding facility, particularly for deserving primary school children. Before we do that, we need to repair the floors and paint the walls of the old dormitory. Before we can turn that into a secure home for the children. And so that work needs to be done, Arch.
Okay, well, I always get fearful when it comes to the word renovation and cost. What might something like this actually cost, Raghu?
It'll cost about 15,000 Australian dollars to repair the old dormitory and transform it into a boarding facility, Arch.
$15,000, goodness me. That amount of money in the word renovation rarely finds itself in the same sentence in this country. I can assure you, having recently undergone it, you can't even get a plumber to come out and quote a job for $15,000. So it's terrific to see that so much can be achieved with that amount of money. Again, Raghu, education, so important, particularly the early education. Tell us a little about what's happening there.
Arch, early education is the foundation for the young children, as you know. And despite the COVID-19 lockdown, we've managed to launch an online program for the children since September 1. And we're in the process of expanding this program to the older children, Arch.
And don't they all look stunning in those national Indian colours as well? The early learning and primary school program costs approximately $22,000 per year to run. So again, I ask those who are in a position to contribute, we most welcome your generosity. And we have a little video clip just to share with you about what happens there. And isn't it wonderful? And can I again thank the many pledges that are coming through. They're coming through thick and fast. We're extremely grateful for that. On the subject of education, Chandran, I'm going to ask you to join me again. The Vicky Standish Innovative IT Centre, as I understand it, we have 40 desktop computers there as well. Can you tell us a little more about that? Muted. Sorry, Chandran, you're muted.
We cannot thank Vicky and the Julian and the Standish family enough, Julian, Natasha, Kristen. Their contribution over the last 15 years towards education, especially electronic education at Uluru, has been incredible. Thanks to them, over thousands of people have become computer literate. And this wonderful facility, which is named after Vicky Standish Electronic Education Center, is still a state-of-art digital thing, even though it's many years old. And it not only has classes, but it also serves in a multi-use facility in terms of seminars and talks, etc. We cannot thank them enough, Arch.
And Chandran, as we continue on the theme of education, there is something that particularly excites me. You've put a school on wheels. You have a school bus, which unlike other school buses, it doesn't deliver children to school. The school's on the bus. It's a great idea. Tell us a little more about the education on wheels.
Yes, Arch. We recognized quite early on that education was the key. And the infrastructure, educational infrastructure, facilities, and staffing in that region was abysmal, appalling. And we felt that the only way to go forward was through electronic education. And we started taking laptops out into the community and having classes under trees, on the street. And the problem with that was that the laptops, the batteries in those days didn't last long. And of course, there was no electricity available in most rural areas. So the charging was almost impossible. And this concept of having an electronic classroom on wheels, a bus that was fully digital and could move around was something that the Cognizant Foundation in India appreciated, and they sponsored the very first bus. And it has made a big impact there. It was a real hit. And actually, I must say, once at a function in India, one of the headmasters came to me quietly and told me, and he thanked me for the buses. And he said that he has trouble getting all the children to school every day. But on the day the bus is due to come to that particular school, he always gets 100% attendance because it was so special. But the buses have educated, as you said, over 25,000 kids. And we started a project that we thought that every school kid at grade 5 and above would get access to this teaching on the bus. And so that in our little community, our neck of the woods, every kid over grade 5 would be computer literate. And so when the demonetization happened a few years ago in India, our community just sort of went through, handled it very easily. And of course, it impressed so much our supporters that one of our supporters in New Jersey and the family donated us the second bus, which the big white bus that you saw earlier, which is a much improved version of our original one, which is and also is solar powered. So we're very, 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 very proud of these buses, and I think they can be used anywhere in any developing country, leave alone India, and make a huge difference to the population itself.
Indeed, indeed, Chandran, you should be extremely proud of that. What a wonderful and innovative idea. Well, may the fleet grow to 3 or 4 buses. Raghu, if I can come back to you now, we've spoken a little about, well, the health challenges. We've also now spoken extensively about education. Can I ask you, how has COVID-19 impacted employment within the community?
COVID-19 has been fairly tough on the community. Similar to Australia, the unemployment has doubled. The foundation has continued to pay the salary of the 55 staff, working to ensure constant support to its employees and their families in these challenging times, Arch.
Gee, that's so wonderful to be able to do that and ensure that an income is still ever present, Raghu. Congratulations. I think that's a wonderful achievement. As well as education, there's also been a huge importance placed around the Women's Centre and, of course, community care.
Yes, Raj, there's quite a story to this. When Dr. Premnath came to us and said there's more than 250 infections across the 24 villages, we had to come up with a way to protect the community. So what I managed to do was secure the material used for hospital-grade masks from one of my contacts in Chennai. And what the Women's Centre transformed into is a production line for making masks. The boys didn't want to sew, but they were happy to cut and pack. And the girls and the sewing teacher worked together to sew the masks. And they formed a mini production line, measuring, cutting, sewing, and packing. I'm very pleased to report to our supporters, we produced over 10,500 masks, Arch, and distributed to the community for free.
And that's fantastic. And as I understand it, you now have some certified tailors as well.
Yes, Arch. At the moment, we have 132 certified tailors. And in addition to that, we intend focusing on the community needs during this pandemic, particularly employment and business initiatives. And the fact that we've learned another skill using the mask, I think it's going to create an opportunity for a cottage industry, Arch.
That's wonderful to hear, Raghu. If we can move now on to a very important issue, one that I expect is dear to the hearts of everybody on our screens this evening, the environment. I recall when I was there was a great deal of work that was being done around the coastal ecosystem and its regeneration. Tell us a little about how everything's progressing there.
Arch, ever since the tsunami in 2005, the foundation has taken a proactive role in ensuring the sustainability of the environment. As you know, the foundation is solar powered. We recycle our own water and we use biogas, Arch. And also the foundation's planning to launch online programs on coastal and inland ecology as part of our education curriculum in the coming year. In addition to that, Arch, I want to take this opportunity to thank Rotary International for helping the foundation double our water storage. You can see on the screen the large water tanks. And I really particularly want to thank Rotary Monash, Australia, Besant Rotary, and which is the home of Kamala Harris, the Vice President-elect, and Scarborough, UK. And I see Mr. Murali waving his hand as well. So thank you to Rotary International for all your support to the foundation and to the community.
That's terrific work, Raghu. And in fact, can I just simply say our own Australian government could learn something from that community about just how important the environment is. And just as we speak about the environment, I'm again delighted to say we have just received a very generous donation specifically targeted to this particular cause. It is for $14,500, which is absolutely outstanding. And I think we all, even though we're muted, should give a virtual round of applause for such a wonderful and generous donation. I remind everyone, of course, the chat button, which is being used very, very well, is also available for you to get onto the link and make a donation. And of course, fundraising is very important as we move to one of the, well, most fun fundraising days. It's a date that everybody looks forward to, the annual golf day. This year, it's the 12th golf day. And let me tell you, it is a day of fun, frivolity, just a little bit of competitiveness as well. It is being put together with a wonderful group of volunteers. It was the brainchild of John Schuster, who came up with this wonderful idea. My company has been so proud to sponsor it for a number of years, and of course we'll continue to do so in the future. And I'd like to take the opportunity now to welcome John. Welcome to this evening. John, if people would like to participate, how might they do that?
Well, the range of participation is limitless. What we have are major sponsors, which are companies that give a big sponsorship. In this case is $2,500, in which and they're entitled to run a team. But between $25 and any amount, there'll be recognition appropriate to the donation. You could have sponsor holes for $200, $250. There's any sort of recognition you want for a company, which makes it tax deductible in Australia, is available. And you can ring me on this number or contact me by email, and we'll come up with a deal that will give appropriate recognition to you or any organisation. Should you be interested in playing, we can make up teams, or you can organise your own team. But if you come as a single, and that's $200, for which you get a game on a beautiful sandbelt course, presents, golf balls, food. It's a wonderful day, a lot of fun, and you certainly won't be disappointed. So if you're interested in playing, just contact me on that number and you'll be put into a team or form a team. We'll do something for you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. And I can vouch for all of that. It is a whole lot of fun. If you have a pair of loud pants, dust them off, get your clubs out, you'll really enjoy the day. It is a magnificent day. Raghu, if I can just come back to you now, we've shared with all of our supporters the programs that have been taking part in the past, and of course the aspirations, the ambitions as well. And as Treasurer of the East West Foundation, it would be terrific if you can also apply some metrics to all of these programs.
Thank you, Arch. Just to summarize, and we've been through most of this. First of all, I want to thank all our supporters for the journey we've been on, and your support. Without your support, we couldn't have got here. So just to summarize, the health services we spoke about and the work we're doing to protect and prevent the spread of COVID-19, including the mobile clinic, cost about $100,000 per annum, Arch. The children's home, including the holistic care, which Chitra explained. When I say holistic care, it's everything from education, arts, dancing, martial arts, and so forth. Cost us about $95,000 a year to run. The tertiary education for the grown-up children, as I mentioned earlier, is $2,500 per student per year, Arch. The nursery and primary education costs us $22,000 per annum. That floor repair and wall repair I mentioned earlier to convert an old dormitory into boarding facilities for deserving primary school students will cost us $15,000. The wonderful Vicky Standish IT Center and those e-bus and laptops on those buses, which has reached out more than 25,000 kids, cost us $30,000 per annum to run. And the Women's Center, which played a lead role in protecting the community, including getting those 10,000 odd masks distributed, cost us only $2,500 per annum to run. And the Environment Center and maintenance work is about $22,000. We have a dairy as well, and we give fresh milk to the children, which costs $8,000 per annum to run. And that cute kid on the photo, that smile is priceless, Aj.
It is indeed. And we understand that not everyone may be in a position to make a financial donation, but if you are in a position to volunteer and come along on this wonderful journey, you're certainly most welcome. We will accept any help, any assistance we possibly can. Now, it wouldn't be a gala evening without a little bit of colour and movement. And let me tell you about this handsome young man on your screen right now. His name is Dinesh. I was fortunate enough to meet Dinesh 3 years ago. He came to the home as a 6-year-old. He was 12 when I met him. He's now 15. I've never come across a smooth talker like this young man. He absolutely entranced me. He took me to one side, he put his arm around me, mind you, he was only 12, and he whispered in my ear, Arch, of all the uncles who have ever visited here, you are my favourite. Well, right then and there, I swore if that young man were ever to come to Melbourne, I would immediately give him a job in real estate. What a smooth operator, but he's also a very smooth mover. Here he is, Dinesh, the rock star, busting some moves. Now, I told you we had some moves. As we now just briefly move the tempo and go to something a little more elegant, this wonderful stick dance. As we enjoy this beautiful stick dance on our screen, the evening is slowly drawing to an end, and I'd like to take the opportunity to thank very generous donations that have come through. Some people have inquired on the chat line as to whether they can match donations, how else can they donate. We will certainly reach out to you. And for those who have been unable to actually get on the link and make a donation this evening, if you don't mind, we will of course follow you up with an email, give you all of the direction. If you want to take a day sponsorship, if you'd like to make a pledge towards the tertiary fund, the environmental cause, the health services, everything that can be donated is greatly appreciated. Very shortly, we're about to see a wonderful video, one that absolutely fills my heart, and I hope it does yours too. I think it encompasses everything that the foundation is all about. It'll be on your screen shortly.
तू ही तो जन्नत मेरी, तू ही मेरा जुनू, तू ही तो मन्नत मेरी, तू ही रूह का सुकून, तू ही अखियों की ठंडक, तू ही दिल की है दस्तक। और कुछ ना जानू मैं, बस इतना ही जानू, तुझ में रब दिखता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं, तुझ तुझ में रब दिखता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं, सजदे सर झुकता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं, तुझ में रब दिखता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं। ये दूरी कैसी मजबूरी, मैंने नजरों से तुझे छू लिया, ओहो कभी तेरी खुशबू कभी तेरी बातें, बिन मांगे ये जहां पा लिया। तू ही दिल की है रौनक, तू ही जन्मों की दौलत, और कुछ ना जानू बस इतना ही जानू, तुझ में रब दिखता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं, तुझ में रब दिखता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं, सजदे सर झुकता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं, तुझ में रब दिखता है यारा, मैं क्या करूं।
I absolutely adore that video. Doesn't it swell your heart? The evening is almost finished, and very shortly we will be unmuting everyone. You'll have the opportunity to engage and spend as long as you like. The link will remain open, but it is only fitting that we end the evening tonight with Dr. Chandran.
I must thank Cam Serple for that lovely little clip. He's a 16-year-old young student from Melbourne. He came and stayed with us in January this year, and that was his gift for us. Thank you gift when he left. But Arch, what can I say? I just have to thank you for the excellent manner in which you have conducted this presentation today. Right? Really, thank you. You for years have always been at every gala night, and you have conducted the auction with such gusto. But this was very special. This is new to all of us, and you have excelled. Thank you very, very much. I must thank Beth. I must thank Denise. I must thank Meena. I must thank Raghu. I must thank John and all the supporters, so many of them who worked tirelessly over the year for so many things, especially putting this evening together. And I must thank Rendra, who was the technical expertise behind tonight's this show today. Thank you, Rendra. But most importantly, I must thank every donor, every sponsor, individuals, families, corporate from around the world who have been with us over the 28 years that we have been in existence, 26 years in India. In Melbourne in particular, I must mention Lisa Boyd and Seasol, who are our only corporate sponsors, and I hope to double, quadruple it this year, coming year. But there have been sponsors all around the world, and they have really sustained us over such a long period of time. But I must say that some musings from me, and it has been a very simple but incredible journey for Chitra and me over the years. At the outset, I must say that we are truly grateful to the foundation for having brought to us thousands of wonderful, lovely people like you, and enriched our lives by your graciousness and gratitude and involvement and energy and time and spirit over the years. I must start saying that at the beginning. When Chitra and I found this place 26 years ago, it was a very impoverished and God-forsaken place. And we decided to set roots down there. And the foundation over this period of time has served that community in more ways than one, with excellent health care, with education, quality education, looking after children, child welfare, child rights, as well as community development and of course the environment, which is very precious to us, the coastal environment. When we started out there, we didn't realize that we thought that 20 years max, maybe 25 years would be enough, would see us through, and we would have done all that needed to be done. And but that is not correct. We have hardly scratched the surface. There's so much more to be done in that region, and so it's like, you know, I was just thinking and reflecting with Chitra that it's like running a marathon and entering the stadium, only to realize that it wasn't a marathon but a relay race, and that we need to hand over the batons to other people who will run for the life for others' lives, and so we need a lot of fresh welcome. We need and welcome a lot of fresh energy, thoughts, as well as involvement from all of you and your family, your children, your grandchildren, your friends, in the years to come. And I'm sure, just like you have supported us over the past 28 years, that will come too. And I must say again, thank you so much for being part of us, a part of our family, and having looked after all the things you've done in that community. And thank you very much. Thank you very, very much.